Welcome to a realm where personal growth meets expansive spirituality and where we're not just scratching the surface. We're diving deep, widening our perspectives, and having a darn good time doing it. This is the Enlightened Podcast, and I am your host, Jen Hamilton. You'll enjoy an infusion of motivation, empowerment, and inspiration that will resonate in every aspect of your life. Expect captivating stories, heartfelt musings, and my own personal experiences. But that's not all. I'm bringing awe-inspiring individuals to the table, so get ready to meet some remarkable souls whose wisdom and stories will leave you spellbound. No topic is off limits here. Brace yourself for raw authenticity, unfiltered vulnerability, and yes, the occasional splash of explicit language. We're delving into the realms of the esoteric, mystical, and the woo-woo, unafraid to explore the extraordinary. So if you are ready to venture beyond the surface, to explore the depths of your soul, and to awaken the magic of life, if your heart says yes, then hit that play button and let the Enlightened Podcast guide you on this remarkable expedition. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Enlightened Podcast. I am your host, Jen, and my very special guest today is Atousa Raissyan. Atousa is a recognized shaman, transformational heart-centered healer and spiritual guide, as well as a motivational speaker. She's also a best-selling author, poet, and digital artist. Her passion is to help people light up by guiding them to release their traumas and reprogram their fear-based living to a more heart-centered, peaceful life. Atousa's extensive experience comes from years of transforming the lives of her clients to tap into their truth, heart, and experience their desired life, and in turn, change the lives of those around them. I'm so excited for you to hear this incredible conversation that we got to have. It is full of so many gold nuggets and wisdom. So without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome to the Enlightened Podcast, Atousa. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, you do some incredible work. You're a shaman, transformational healer, spiritual guide. What a mouthful. What magic do you bring to the world?
Mouthful is right. The magic, honestly, these days, what I was thinking is that I don't set any limits for myself, and I tell people don't set any limits. There's no reason why you cannot be everything and anything you want. Shaman, healer, guide, artist, author, poet. I'm all of those. I'm also now helping a group of people publish their book. So here you go.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so curious. Do you know your human design type? You sound very much like a manifesting generator, which is what I am. And it's like we thrive when we have a lot of things to choose from and a lot of things on the go.
I don't. I know my life path number is 11.
Okay. Oh, wow. There you go. Ascended. What's the 11? Is it the ascended something?
Yeah.
I know the 11. I know the 11's something really good. So, Atousa, how did you get into doing everything that you do now? Did you have a spiritual awakening? Did you have an experience that sort of catapulted you into this, or was it kind of like something that you slowly led into?
Definitely catapulted into, but also I was meant to do. It was not something as a kid, I remembered when I started doing this work, I remembered when I was a kid and I really was interested in healing arts, healing practices, those who bring messages and energy and all those things. But then, life hit me pretty hard. My parents were divorced when I was 2. It was a pretty bad divorce. My dad was pretty abusive, not physically, more mental, emotional abuse. And then I was in Iran at that point. We had the whole revolution happen, war happened. We came to US and didn't speak a word of English, came at a time that all that hostage crisis, everything had happened. So it was crazy time, and I felt so out of control of my life that I needed to get control back. So I went what any sane person would do, I need control. I need to grab a hold of something and hold on to life. This is too much change. And became an engineer. And that was my life for a very long time. And I was successful at it, very successful, in fact. But then, part of that process, I got married as well, and didn't turn out well. That was another abusive marriage, and everything sort of the marriage ended. I was a single mom. The work that I was doing so well, I couldn't really physically, mentally, emotionally, I could not do it anymore. And also, I lost all my money. But all of that was like life said, okay, you're done with this. Here's where you need to be. And I had the best training. All those years, I got my training. I got what I needed to do what I do now.
Wow, that's such an incredible journey that you've been on. Was it like, did you go through, obviously you've been through those dark nights of the soul. What was the catalyst to you realizing that this is the path that you're meant to be on? Because sometimes we're faced with such adversity where it's like we just want to give up or we just want to bury our head in the sand. How did you know that this was actually going to turn into an experience where you could support other people?
During that part when I say, marriage ended, money ended, everything ended, that was the time for me to just say, okay, something, I've always had this belief, this is the path. I need to do something else. I know that's where I'm being led. And I started with my artwork and doing that. But then, you're right. And I talk about it in the book that it's not just a night. It's not just a week. There were many nights, weeks, months even during this process. There were times I would go to bed and I said, please just let this be the last night. I don't want to wake up in the morning. I just want to close my eyes and not wake up. And a part of me knew, and that was okay to be that way. I didn't tell people because as soon as I would tell somebody, they would have probably thought, oh my gosh, she's going to kill herself. I knew I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to go kill myself. But I also knew that it's okay to feel this way. And I need to sit in this place until I find my way out of it, until I shift and not be afraid of sitting in it. And, people say, well, did you have people supporting you? No, it was basically me because I shut out all my family at that point as well. And me, my son, and that's it.
Wow. Wow. And the work that you do now with people, like what are people coming to you with essentially? Like what are they going through that they know that they need your help with?
Most people, the way they come to me is either they've tried everything else, they've been to therapy, they've done a lot of work, and they're like, nothing's working. I don't know what it is. Nothing's working. I can't seem to find joy in my life. I'm not happy with life. So that's one way they come to me. Or really they come wanting, they think they want, oh, I want a better relationship. I want the money. I want the job and all those things. And they come with, they get a big surprise because their life is not meant for those things. It's for you to find yourself. Everything else on the outside is going to come to you. So those are usually the things they come. But the main work is that I help people I find their past traumas. I go in, look, and find those areas that are hiding in there and go bring it out for them to pretty much deal with it, but not on their own. I help them through it and help the healing process. And I also then give them sort of prescriptions to help reprogram all those things.
Yeah. You mentioned, Atousa, that when people come to see you, they've tried everything else. Why are we waiting to do this kind of work as a last resort? Like, where did we get it so wrong? Because, many years ago, I guess, before like the rise of the subscription model that is pharmaceuticals and the medical industry, before that, like we would have gone to the energetic side of things. We would have gone to healers and shamans and used herbs and natural remedies. Where did we get it so wrong that now this type of stuff is the last resort?
Because everybody's looking for a magic bullet. Easy fix. Give it to me easy, fast. What can you do? I have people that they call me and they're like, I went to a psychic or I went to this and they told me that something's attached, or they come up with something. And I said, well, this is the path. The path is for you to do this work, to let go of your fears, because whatever is attaching you is attaching to those fears inside of you. Once you let go, nothing can get attached. And they don't come to me because it's not fast. It's not easy. I said, I'm happy to take your money and say, okay, I've taken it off, but I just want you to know that it's going to come back. There is no easy fix. There is no magic cure.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we are so conditioned now for that quick fix and that, that fast, we have fast food, we have everything's available at our fingertips online. Even when it comes to meeting people and connecting people and relating with people, like for example, like dating apps and the disposable mentality of like, well, I'll just go on a date and if that doesn't work out, then I'll just swipe to the next one kind of thing. Where do you see us as humanity heading if we keep up this way of being?
I think we're headed where we need to be. There is no, I try not to look at it as a future thing because I'm hopeful. And if I say, take this and say, well, this is where he headed, I take that hope away. What I do see right now is that there are a lot of people that they're realizing this is not the way to be and that they got to go do the work inside because everything comes down to you. You got to go dig inside, change yourself. And once you make those changes inside, and once you find that peaceful, happy, loving place with yourself, all of it naturally comes out. And when it comes out, everybody else around you gets to shift as well. And we get hyper focused on the things that's going on in life. And I know we're really in troubled times right now with all the wars and everything happening around us. But at the same time, sitting back and saying, how am I contributing to this? How is my fears, my hate, my anger, my way of looking at the world contributing to this and going inside to do that work?
It's so true, isn't it? And obviously, like you and I are very similar that we're both, very intuitive. We've got that healer aspect to us. What do you feel like there's a lot of people coming through now doing the work and using their gifts and really sort of stepping into that intuitive and that healer space. Do you feel like this is where we need to be, like we are on the right track as far as people tapping in, doing the work and then, using their gifts to support, the rise of humanity?
We are definitely, I think, on the right path. I definitely wholeheartedly believe that the more people are shifting and waking up, and there are a lot of healers, and I know again another group out there that says, well, not all healers are genuine, and healers are this, healer that. It doesn't matter. You don't even need to be a healer as long as you wake up every day and you wake up from that place of unconditional love in your heart and you say, how can I be of service today? And it's not a service where you have to do any kind of work, but being of service, meaning how do I bring this love and joy out into the world and bring it to whomever needs it, whatever needs it at the moment.
How does that look for you when you wake up in the morning and you ask yourself, how can you be of service? So obviously you see clients, but tell us some of the things that you do to really embody that for yourself.
Moment to moment, honestly, it could vary. First of all, my mornings are myself. That's where I connect to myself and the nature and everything. So that's my time, and it starts from there. If my dog needs something and needs an extra cuddle, and it could be my son, it could be clients texting me with questions, it could be just that I'm going out, like the other day I was a bird hit the window, and it was like dizzy, and it's like, okay, let me just see what I can do. And I brought it water and food and sat with it until it started to feel better. And I was like, well, do I need to? But it can be anything. It doesn't need to be even these things. It's just that love and joy that you bring out into the world. I'm not looking at it as like, oh, everything has to be perfect. Like, I went for a run. I hurled through, hit a rock, and just like went flying and landed, like slid down. It was like one of those. As I'm doing this, it's a slow motion in my head, and I'm laughing in my head. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm flying in the air and I'm landing. And, you know, and I got up, popped back up, and went back running. And I was like, this was such a great feeling that I can do this with my body, and I'm not worried about, I'm 52 and I'm not worried about, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have run, or oh my God, what did I break? Or let me slow down. It's like, no, let's go. Can I go do it again? Let's go see how fast I can go.
That's hilarious. The only thing I'd be worried about is like not the moneymaker, like not the face. As long as I don't scratch my face up, like everything else can recover. It's totally fine. What are some of the practices that you do to support yourself? Because one of the biggest things, and I think a lot of people sort of get caught up in the, oh, well, I'm a healer and I'm of service, and it's all about, giving away parts of myself to help other people, which I think we go through that phase, but then we've also got to come back and go, hang on a second, I've got to nourish myself along the way. I've got to make sure that I'm prioritizing my own needs, my own desires, my own pleasures, my own nourishment so that I can be of service to other people. What are some of the ways in which you nourish yourself?
I definitely put a time limit on when I see clients. So that's for sure. Like, I have my days that are just mine and I'm not seeing clients. And even during the day, I know after a certain hour, like, you're not going to get the best of me, and I'm not even going to bother seeing clients. So there's a certain hour I just stop in a day. And like I said, my mornings is a big time for me that I need to, it's just my time with me. My son's gone to school, and even the dog knows, like, hey, this is my time. Don't ask for anything. So he's cute. He just waits and it's like, okay, she's got her coffee. And I say, okay, you can jump up. And then he jumps up and goes and lays there and knows it's like my coffee time. But, and that's pretty much it. And during the times that I'm not, like I said, I go running, I spend time in nature. I like to put music and cook and dance and all that stuff. Anything that really brings me joy.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Let's speak into people in this space and holding fear, because fear is such a big thing for people. And look, let's be honest, in the last few years, we've been in a collective consciousness of fear because we've had so much uncertainty in the world. What does it look like to be holding on to fear, in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls, and how do we go about releasing it?
Um, you feel it in your body. First of all, look at the triggers. You got to get in touch with your body. That's the way, like, if you're interacting with someone or if you're in a situation with someone, if you're aware of your body's telling you, it's like, oh, my jaw is tense. My forehead is tense. My shoulders are tense, or my lower back is tense. So those are usually the spots that we hold on to fear a lot. Joints, ankles, wrists, heart, chest area. But the chest, usually there's so many other stuff in there that nobody even pays attention to the chest anymore. But the spots to go for fear usually is the jaw and the forehead, eyes sometimes, again, shoulders, wrists, joints. And the way to release it, go into those fear scenarios for yourself, go dig deeper and see why it's there. It's going to show you something. And once you see it, it's easier to sit with it and release it. Sort of like, you know, if your kid is afraid, or even if you don't have a kid comes running to you and they're afraid, you're not going to start panicking with the kid. You just take the kid. It's okay. Come sit here. You know, what do you need? So that's the way to approach it. And also, there are a lot of different techniques, like different stretching type of things that you can do to release it in your body.
It's so important, isn't it? And, you know, the body is so intelligent. You know,
It
we can
is.
literally find out everything that we need to know just by tuning in. And I feel like we've been, you know, conditioned to disconnect from our bodies, or that it's just been lost along the way in how to read our own bodies or listen to our bodies, because we're in such a fast-paced environment. We're in such a fast-paced moving world that it's all about survival, really. You know, it's all about making the money and getting all that we need. And like we said before, you know, that disposable mentality, and things just moving so quickly that we've forgotten that, you know, everything that we ever need can be found in nature. We could, you know, nature will reflect back to us, you know, our seasons. It reminds us of our seasons. It reminds us of our cycles. It reminds us, you know, the ebb and flow. It reminds us to hibernate, like everything that we need to be reminded of, because at the end of the day, we are nature. And I think that
Exactly.
we need to be having these conversations, and we need, you know, especially you and I as leaders in this field, you know, really supporting people so that they're like, oh yeah, that's right. Hang on a second. I need to slow down a bit. I need to come back. I need to listen to my body and trust my body as well. And that's been such a big part of my journey, is realizing that I am a cyclical being, and it's okay to work with the cycles that I have, because I'm not outside, you know, fighting, you know, the flowers blooming because I don't think they're ready to. I'm not out, it's springtime, you know, where I am at the moment. I'm not saying, all right, birds don't have your babies, you know, flowers don't bloom. It's like, oh no, that's just what we're doing now because that's what nature does. Yet we fight our own cycles and we fight our own seasons. And it's like, what are we doing all of this for?
A lot of it, I find out, is again comes to fear. The people, they're not sitting with their bodies because it just feels so bad to sit with their bodies. They don't like their bodies. They start judging the body. So it's that fear that keeps them from connecting to the body. And it's like, oh, what if I go in there and I find something that's wrong? Or, oh my God, I don't like my stomach. And, you know, my stomach. So it's all of it. And again, if I connect with my body, that means that I got to actually see my body and love my body the way it is. And most people, they really have a hard time with that.
Mm. What would you say to anyone that's listening, that's resonating with what we're talking about, but they actually just don't know where to start? They're like, oh, I want to be in touch with my body. I want to love myself. I want to slow down. I want to connect with nature, but they've harboring so much fear. Their body is tense. They feel like they're on, you know, that rat race where they can't get off. What are the first steps to moving through this?
One of my favorite things to connect people back with their body initially is love and gratitude. Now,
Mm.
this is not a love and gratitude of, oh my God, I love my family, I love my health, not like that. But it's actually like from the morning, as you're getting up, you're in bed, and you bring attention first to like the stuff that's around you, like your pillow, your mattress, your sheets, whatever you really enjoy at that moment, and just love on it. Oh my God, I love these sheets. They're so comfy and cozy, and just go in it like, oh my God, this is so good. And then take that, say a couple of more things, bring love and gratitude, but then go inside for your own body. Now, for people that the outside stuff, for example, like their skin or their arms or nose or eyes, they can't find things that they love, I say start inside, because you're not going to judge your blood. You're not going to judge your intestines or your muscles or your tissues or your bones. So start with those things. I love my pancreas. I have no freaking clue what you do, but I love you. Thank you. I know you're doing a good job in there. I love my blood. Thank you for going up and down and taking nutrients everywhere. I love my nerves. I know I can feel you inside with everything I touch. Thank you so much. And anything, start with the inside and then gradually on the outside stuff. I love my eyes. I'm so grateful that I can see color, anything. It can be your eyebrows or your fingernails. Start small. It doesn't need to be the big ticket items even.
It's so true, isn't it? Because we naturally love and innately love all of our insides, and then we're conditioned that there's the outside parts of us that are made wrong. And so I love what you said about I've got no idea what the pancreas does either. I should probably know that. My mum's a nurse.
Something to do with sugar. I know that.
Yeah, is it something to do with insulin? Maybe like creates
Yeah, exactly.
that. Yeah,
Insulin.
there we go. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for my pancreas. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like we just need to start with something that we actually hold no judgment over. I have no judgment over my pancreas whatsoever, or the blood that flows through me, or my nerves, on the inside. So I think that's such a beautiful place to start on the inside. And then noticing as well, like when we start to come to the outsides, like going into the parts where we do have resistance, so someone might be saying, oh, but I want to love my thighs, for example. We're women, let's talk about our thighs. I want to love my thighs, and then they say it out loud. They're like, but I can't love it because that conditioning runs so deeply that unless you've got the thigh gap and the no cellulite and the this and the that, that until you're perfect in air quotes, in inverted commas, um, where do we go when we've got such resistance to the outer and we're feeling it on the inside? What would you say to people going, I want to love the outside, but I just can't?
First of all, this practice that I said, if you do it every day and if you do it twice a day, it starts to shift. Because gradually that love and gratitude, it starts opening up. And if you even bring it throughout the day with the things that comes to you, again, it can be things around you. You saw a tree, you saw a bird, whatever. And gradually that just opens up. So you get used to that feeling of love and gratitude. And then you can bring it to the outside. And if the resistance is there, you don't need to go fight it. Don't go fight. Oh my God, I hate my thighs, but okay, I'm going to say I love my thighs. That's not going to work. So find something even on the outside stuff. That's why I say go, small, anything. It can be your fingernails, eyelashes, your tongue. It doesn't matter. Your freckles, maybe you love your freckles. Start there and then gradually come and it's like, I have okay thighs. I can say I have okay thighs. They're not that bad. And, what do a lot of the times too, that's a part of you that you need to go inside, look at, because I find out, sometimes the reason people don't like those outside features, it reminds them of something from the past. It reminds them of either a parent or a sibling. Maybe they teased them. Maybe it looks like somebody they don't like. Really, they didn't have a good relationship with their dad. For example, I used to hate my nose because it reminded me of my dad's, and I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. And when I made peace with my dad and I forgave him and forgave myself, my nose wasn't an issue anymore. So you got to go in there and see why those things are there, if they're sticking around and it's not letting go.
Yeah, I always find as well, like the things that persist and those little inner niggles is showing us where we need to invite in that love and compassion and healing. Like it shows us where we're perhaps out of alignment. And I feel that's the same for, anxious thoughts and, inner disharmony and discomfort as well. I feel like it's just our body's invitation to go into a little bit deeper and just love on it even more.
Yes, definitely. I 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Atousa, tell us about the book you've written.
The book is called Change Yourself, Change the World. And the subtitle is Transform Your Life from Fear Based Living to Choosing Love and Seeing Magic. And it was published in August 11th of this year. And it's available in digital form and paperback. And I've been so happy with people reading it and reaching out saying it's powerful and how they use the tools and how they keep it, they like the paperback better because they can go back and forth and highlight things. So a lot of good comments and that was my hope. I really was hoping to give people tools and techniques that they can use every day and to start seeing their life in a different way that's easier um, to live a joyful life than we think. And we're stuck in these spots that we can't shift our perspective, and that's what I'm hoping. It has my own story in there, and I use my story as an example. And I broke it down into like chapters, that each chapter is like a guide to how to move about. And then I had practical exercises at the end and more stories.
Yeah. And was it always on your radar to write a book, or did that just kind of drop in randomly one day?
I always wanted to write a book, but then I didn't know what I wanted in there. I was part of a multi-author book 2 years ago that came out, and that was a great experience. I just had a one chapter in there. And right after I put that out, I was like, okay, no, I want to do my own book now. And it took 2 years, in the making. It was a process of, I say it was like my artwork. I had to get everything and move it around and see what it turns into, what it transforms into. And I'm really pleased with it. I was really happy. It has a good energy. Yeah. So
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And whereabouts can we find the book? Is it available online?
it's available online. It's on Amazon in ebook and paperback, on anywhere that Amazon serves. So if Amazon does not serve in your area, I apologize. Reach out to me. I find a way to get it to you.
I love that. I love that. What is it that you ultimately hope for the world and humanity? What is it that you want to see in your lifetime shift?
I really hope that we can let go of our labels and our rules of good, bad, evil, and realize that we're all one. Everything is part of one, that we are divine beings in this human form experiencing a human life, and everything is coming to connect us with our divinity, because once we have both of that come together as one, then we're not so afraid of life anymore, and we're not separating ourselves from the other people, and we know everybody is just a reflection of me and we're one. And starting to forgive the past, because we are in this state because of all those things that's happened in the past, and we keep moving it forward. We keep moving that fear forward and forward, and it's time to stop it and see we're all one.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I really want to normalize through this human experience and life itself is us, in the leadership space, normalizing our experience. What's something that you're working on, I guess, on a personal level at the moment? Like, is there anything that's sort of that you're working through, that you're doing the growth or the inner work around that you'd like to share?
Honestly, it's more of that realizing that oneness, because even for me, sometimes I get too caught up in the human experience of the situation and I forget, like, it's like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to fix this. And I'm like, no, step it back. Everything is flowing in divine time and divine order. I don't need to do anything. It's not a doing involved. So that's something I'm continuing to grow and practice, and bringing those two parts of myself in more of a harmony and alignment.
Yes, you and I are actually on the same page with that. I'm very similar to
Nice.
that too. And I think because I've been in more stepped into my masculine space recently. I'm a solo part-time parent. I run my household, I run a business. So there's a lot of masculine aspects to my life. And my feminine's like, hello, can I get a look in here at some stage? And realizing that yes, I'm the driving force behind everything that I do, and it's not necessarily about the chase. I can sit back and receive and allow life to move through me. And it does come down to that divine timing too. Like, there is this, I guess for me, there's like this inner rush that happens. Like, it's like, oh, but I've got to get this done, or I've got to get this done by the time the children come back, or oh my gosh, they're on school holidays soon, I have to have all of this organized. And where is this coming from, what is this doing? And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh wow, I'm really tired from thinking so much, and that push forward. And so let's talk about that, like the dance of the masculine and the feminine there, because I know that this is something that you're quite passionate about as well. Why is it so important for us to find that balance within?
Um, Regardless of gender, I think that's what's happening right now. Another part of humanity in our world right now, all the gender issues, all the sort of the masculine energy out there, that is because the females have felt that their powers have taken away. So more and more they've stepped into their masculine roles and masculinity and not nurtured the feminine. And the males actually too, out of expectation and what they've been taught too. So they're nurturing more their masculine rather than their feminine side as well. But you got to understand and realize we have all, regardless of gender, we have both of those energies in us. Everything needs to be balanced. You want to have balance in yourself, balance in life. You got to bring those two portions together no matter what. And once you find that balance in yourself, then that balance and harmony comes out into the world, which we really need at this time. And it's going to shift. The more, again, people say, well, one person. Yes, one person has the power to shift and change the world. You will see it, because if you shift, all those people around you, your family, your friends, they're going to start to shift. And when they shift, the people that they come into contact, that's that ripple effect. And it is that powerful.
It's so true. And I was literally just having a conversation with a friend about this before. We were talking about the masculine and feminine dynamics, and he understands what it's like to be in his masculine and integrating his own inner feminine. So we were just talking about this, where there's like there was this rise of almost like toxic femininity as well, where women, because we were raised in this patriarchal society, we then were like, well, we have to be equal or better than men, and we can outdo them, and push and push and push. And that's when we abandon ourselves as our feminine. Like, we work through those cycles where we should be resting or honoring our bodies, or nourishing ourselves, working these long hours, racing back to the workforce, after becoming mothers. But also, like, yes, we had that, desire to do so, but we didn't have the masculine that understood the roles to how to hold the feminine and how to provide and support the feminine so she can be in the fullest expression of her feminine whilst balancing her masculine, and the same the other way. Is this something that you see as well? Sort of like this imbalance of, well, who's supposed to lead here,
It is a dance. It's not, that's what we keep forgetting. And we forget that when we're with a partner, that somebody has to do something all the time. And it's not, it's a dance, because there's, that cycle that you're talking about, that same cycle is happening for your partner as well. And if you're seeing things clearly and you're in balance and your partner's in balance, that dance happens naturally, and you allow each other that space and time to move and be free. So it's not, it's not about who's going to be providing, who's going to be taking care of things. It's about understanding each other, your needs, and also allowing that this is what I need at this moment. And your partner reaching out and saying, okay, I'll give you the space for that. And you doing the same.
Yeah. And I think that comes down to speaking your truth, speaking authentically. And in my experience, personally and professionally, underneath being able to do that, again, comes up fear. The fear of what might they think of me. Will I potentially be abandoned for speaking my truth? Like, we've got all of these old wounds that have existed generally from childhood. They could have stemmed over from past lives as well. But there's just this deep seated fear that I'm going to be left if I speak my truth, or I'm not going to be worthy, or they're going to judge me because I'm, in my fullest expression as well.
No, for sure. Again, that's what I did the book. Fear. Number one thing. Everything comes down to fear. And when you trickle that fear, even go deeper, deeper, it comes to fear of loss. And we're not sometimes willing to sit with that fear of loss because it is so powerful and it is so deep. That's really, it's like it comes and shakes you to your core. But that's where the work is. That's where you got to go and sit and be vulnerable. And that's how you open up to love. That vulnerability lets you let down your guards. I tell people, they say, I want love, I want support. But how are you going to receive any of that if you build these walls to protect yourself? You're not. You
Mm.
got to let those down. You got to be vulnerable. You got to say what it is that you want. Speak from your I place. And, it's easier for us to blame and say, well, you didn't do this, or I wanted you to do this, rather than saying, no, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I see. And staying in that. And it's okay for the other person to agree or not agree. It doesn't mean they don't love you.
Mm,
My
mm.
son and we used to do this, that, you know, uh, if one of us didn't agree, it's like, I don't like you very much right now, but I really love you. So
Yeah.
love is not negotiable. It's like love is always there, but I'm not agreeing with this right now, and it's okay. You can still go ahead and do this, but you do you, I do me right now.
And I think it's so important as parents to be able to cultivate that within our children, to not abandon them and say, look, I love you regardless. Like, I say to my daughter all the time, like, she can be very feisty. She's half Serbian, quarter Italian. Like, she's got some fire to her. And I say to her all the time, like, I love seeing you when you're angry. I love seeing you feisty. Like, it's like, I have, obviously, like, when there's an attitude coming back at me, I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? Um, but I love that she can express herself, and I'm like, I value seeing you in this space, because I know that, first of all, I'm providing safety for her to be in this expression. She feels safe to be in that. And I wanted to know that no part of this is wrong. And this is where I come back to, well, it all comes back to self. It comes back to that cultivating that self love, because at the end of the day, even if you're left all alone, even if you are abandoned or something breaks down, all you've got left is yourself. And so the relationship that you build with yourself is going to be the most important one, because no matter where you go, there you are.
Exactly.
The whole world could disappear and it's only you left. And I think the relationship that we build with ourselves is the most important one in our whole entire lives. And then once we are at a space where we're in such deep love and gratitude for ourselves, then that can then ripple out into a really beautiful conscious relationship, because you realize that you're whole and complete as you are. And then you can connect with someone on that same frequency who knows that they are whole and complete as they are. And then you can come together and dance through life together, not expecting each other to fill the void that you have created in your own mind that someone else has to fill.
Exactly. No, 100% agree. Beautifully said. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, Atousa, thank you so much for such an incredible conversation, very enlightening. We will obviously link to everything in the show notes and how to get their hands on your book and obviously your website and your Instagram. Before we wrap things up, I have one last question for you, and that is, to you, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life. Get up every morning. It's a brand new day and have fun. Just enjoy whatever comes. Find your joy, find your fun. We're taking life too seriously. It's not that serious. This is all momentary and it's going to shift.
Oh, I love that. And it's so true. Thank you so much for being such an incredible guest and all
Thank
of
you.
your
Thank you.
wisdom. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Same. Thank you so much. I loved it.
Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope you love the Enlightened podcast, and the biggest compliment you can give me is subscribing to this podcast, sharing it, and leaving a rating and review. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is @JenHamiltonOfficial, and the podcast handle is enlightened_podcast. You can also find the video version on YouTube on my channel. Just search Enlightened and don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a beautiful day and enjoy living the enlightened journey of life.